Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope this video finds you well. For those of you who are new here, my name is Alexis and I am a certified health and wellness coach on a mission to make health and well-being topics more fun and accessible. Just as a little note for this video, I did leave my office door open so that my dog Ripley could be here with me. She gets upset if I close the door or if she can't come in here and lay down next to me while I'm working or filming. So you may see a tail walk back and forth underneath the camera. So that is just, again, my dog Ripley who's here next to me. Hi, sweetie. Today's video is part 2 in a 4-part series on nonviolent communication. Just to refresh your memory from last video, the purpose of nonviolent communication is to connect with others in a way that empowers us to relate to them more compassionately and empathetically. In the first video, which I will link down below in the description box, we talked about the first step in nonviolent communication, which is making observations. Today, we will be talking about step 2, which is identifying and expressing feelings. Now, if learning about the difference between making an observation and making a judgment or evaluation was a huge eye-opener for me, and it really was, then learning about identifying and expressing feelings really fundamentally changed the way how I communicate what's alive in me. The number one takeaway that I had from this particular section in the Intro to Nonviolent Communication course that I'm currently taking is that unless you have been taught or trained differently, most people, including myself, have a very small vocabulary around identifying feelings. For example, if your partner or close friend is asking how you're feeling, we might respond with good, fine, down, okay, and those types of words. And these words really don't do our feelings any justice. In order for someone else to really be able to connect with what's alive in you in that moment, it's helpful to be able to identify if you're feeling good, or are you feeling empowered or content or excited? If you're feeling down, are you feeling disappointed, frustrated, or overwhelmed? Now, something that was really helpful for me personally was printing out a copy of the Feelings Inventory, which was created by the Center for Nonviolent Communication. Now, this is a 2-page PDF document that has a list of feelings that occur when our needs are being met and a list of feelings that occur when our needs are not being met. I've linked the PDF for you in the description box below, and I invite you to print out a copy and hang it on your fridge or at your desk at work or somewhere that you're going to be able to see it often and be able to reference often, and I guarantee you that it's going to support you in building your feelings vocabulary. So we've talked about making observations and we've talked about identifying feelings so far. So what would it look like to put these 2 steps together? In a conversation with your partner, it might sound like, when I see your dirty laundry on the floor, I feel disappointed. Or, when I hear you ask about my day, I feel touched. In an interaction with a colleague, it might sound something like, when I saw you edit the document before you send it to the client, I felt relieved. Or, you asked me a question about a topic that we hadn't previously discussed and I felt flustered. And even if these are some things that you aren't prepared to say out loud yet, because as I've mentioned, this is not the way that we've typically been trained or taught to communicate with others, you can still work on these things internally by practicing connecting an observation with a feeling. So, your challenge for this week, if you choose to accept, is to build your feelings vocabulary. To begin, you can check in with yourself this very moment to try to identify what exactly it is that you're feeling. If you get a chance to practice this week, I would love to hear about your experience in the comments below. I also invite you to join me here next week when we talk about step 3 in nonviolent communication, which is identifying the needs at the root of our feelings. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.